Certainly nothing. And so I give you thanks, I give you praise this morning. Thank you for a brand new day. Day that I've never seen before, a day that I've never lived before. I thank you. I glorify your name. I magnify your wonderful, beautiful, precious name. The name of Jesus. The name that is above all other name. The name that makes a difference. This morning we thank you. Giving you praise and honor, giving you glory. Father, we thank you for the rain that cometh from the sky. Thank you for the birds that fly, the fish that swim. Thank you, Lord, that somewhere in the east the sun has risen again. Look forward to set in the west. And so are thy tender mercies, O God. This morning I'm asking you to blot out my sins, my iniquity. Forgive me of my failures. Forgive me, O God, for I've sinned against thee, and against thee only have I sinned. And so, Father, may you create within me this morning a clean heart and renew a right spirit within me. Father, may you cast me not away from thy presence, but Lord, may you draw me nearer, nearer to thy precious bleeding side. Draw me nearer, Lord, so I can feel your heartbeat. Wrap your arms around me, O God. Wrap your presence around me. Hallelujah. Come and quench the thirsting of my soul. O bread of heaven, feed me even till I want no more. Mighty God of Daniel, you know everything about me. You know all my ups and my downs. Yes, Lord, you know my situation. And so, Lord, I give you
He left the splendor of heaven.
Come now, O God, and cleanse within. Set my heart free, O God. Set my mind free. Help me, Almighty God, to celebrate you this day, this morning. Help me, Almighty God, to lift up your name this morning and to glorify you, O Father. Come now, remove everything that is unlike you. Any obstacle, anything that might be in the way, move it out the way, O God. And give me, O Father, clearance. Father, I pray you'll bless those who are listening this morning, those on the airwave this morning, those on the various different platforms that might tune in this morning. I pray your blessings on them, O God. Stretch forth your hands, stretch forth your glory, stretch forth, O God, your presence throughout this world. Move throughout this world, Father. I pray, Almighty God, that you, O Father, will pull down the high places, pull down spiritual wickedness in high places. Father, we bind the presence of the enemy, O God. O Father, we rebuke his devices, we rebuke the weapon that are formed against us, against me, against your people. Mighty God, remember those who are in hostile area, those, oh Father, who are not able to worship you as they should, not able to worship you in public, not able to worship you freely. Remember them, oh God, as they have been persecuted, Lord God. Remember, Father, the magistrate, the kings and the queens of this world, Father. Let them know that you are God. Let them know that you are the highest king. Let them know that you are the king of all kings. Let them know, oh Father, that you, oh God, are the one that makes this world go round. You are the one, oh God, that allowed things upon this earth. Let them know, dear God, that their power are nothing to yours, oh God. I pray for those in parliaments, oh God, those in congresses and those who rule over people nationwide. I pray for them this morning, mighty God, that they will have wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, that they will rule well, dear God. That, oh Father, your people will not be suppressed and oppressed, oh God. But that, Lord, Heavenly Father, they will receive your blessing from above. Mighty God, the laws and legislative implementation that they have put in place, dear God, will not suppress your people, but your people will be able to worship you, oh God. Worship you freely. We pray, Almighty God, for religious freedom in places, Almighty God, that they have suppressed them. They have suppressed, mighty God, the people of God from worshiping and from living. I pray this morning for those who are suffering from sicknesses, oh God. Those who are suffering, Almighty God, because of physical health. Those who are suffering, Lord, because of financial difficulty. I put them before you this morning in the mighty name of our Lord and Savior. I pray for deliverance, oh God. Those children, those boys, those girls, those that are being abused, those that are being afflicted, mighty God. Those who are suffering, oh God, because of a lack, mighty God, lack of resources, Father. Those, oh Father, who are motherless, fatherless, I pray for them this morning, dear God. Stretch forth your hands, mighty God, and touch them, even from the crown of their head to the sole of their feet, Lord. I pray, mighty God, that your will be done and your name be glorified. Bless each and every radio station that I'm on this morning, oh God. Bless each and every platform, dear Father, that I broadcast on this morning. That, oh God, the broadcast will go forward and reach the hearts and minds, the soul and the body of your people. Mighty God, help us, oh Father, to make a difference. If I could help somebody as I travel along this pathway, this road, then my living will not be in vain. But Lord, help me, oh Father, to store treasures in heaven and not on this earth, dear God. But to know, Father, that you are in the midst, oh God, and that, Lord God, you will help me to ride out my storm. Ride out every storm this morning, oh God. I pray, Father, that you'll go before me now and lead the way. Cut and clear the way, oh Father, and let your will be done this day, this glorious day. In Jesus' holy name I pray. Glory be to the Father, the Son, and glory be to the Holy Spirit, the one who sits high and look low. Glory be to the name of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Yeshua be praised in Jesus' name. Shalom, 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 Shabbat shalom, shalom to every one of you this morning. Welcome to a Sterling in the Morning Real Talk. Right here we talk about things that sometimes are so difficult and so hard for many to talk about and to relate to. But nevertheless, this morning we want to put that before I want to put that before you this morning, a topic that just reflecting even on some of the life that I lived when I was a child, and some of the life that you probably lived when you were a child, some of the things that you enjoy while you were a young boy, while you were young girls, just reflecting basically back on some of those things this morning. And so I pray that God will bless each and every one of you, and that your day will be a fantastic day this morning. Let me play a few more music before you. This is Sharon Dyer.
He left the splendor of heaven, knowing his destiny.
isn't love? Praise the name of the Lord. The music of Sharon Dyer, the late Sharon Dyer Sharp. We bless God for the wonderful and the beautiful music that she left us. Gone but not forgotten. And so we give God the praise for the work that she has done while she was alive. And so if that isn't love, yes, if that isn't love, praise God. So we're going to talk about why we actually do what we do, even as grown folks, as adults. As you get older in life, you find yourself doing some things that you never thought you would do. And many times we got to understand that we have been conditioned to do even what we do, to live the way we live. Most are conditioned to do so. And so this morning I want to talk about the parts of you that you actually avoid. And so we want to dig deep down sometimes into some of our childhood memories. And we want to go into that this morning. Welcome those of you on the various different platforms. Want to welcome those of you on Irish Storm Radio. Bless God for you on IrishStormRadio.com. Those of you on PraiseFMNavis.net, welcome you as well. Those of you on Facebook platform, or best possibly YouTube platform with me, I welcome you in Jesus' name. And so I glorify God knowing that you are there and your presence is here. And so this morning I want to give some shout out to those who normally listen, especially those on the local dial in Brooklyn. I want to give some shout out to you. So we want to bless God for you, Brother Julius. We want to bless God. As a matter of fact, I want to say congratulations basically to Dr. Chapman. 10 years anniversary service there yesterday was wonderful, was great. That steel band that played was so fantastic. What a blessing to hear that steel band, to listen to that steel band as they played, as they bring the best out of the youths yesterday that really did a great and fantastic job. They did. It was such a blessing to hear them and to see them. What a blessing it was. So we glorify the King of Kings this morning, thanking God for those youths and those parents who support those youths as they bring forth the steel pan and played two selection there, which was just beautiful. So once again, congratulations, Liberty. All right, praise God for you all. So once again, I want to say good morning to you, Brother Julius, and your wife, as you shared with me. You are up in the morning with me. And so as you're listening on Irish Storm platform, we glorify God for you. All right, so those of you are also listening on Irish Storm platform, blessings unto you, Sugar and Sister Shelby and so many of Michelle. Lady Michelle, bless you this morning, and glorifying God that you are up so early. And just want to let you know, like my Saturday nights are time for me to relax and de-stress, and then I got to get up early this morning. So early to rise, somebody say, and it's not so nice, but I got to get up. I got to do this program here, and so it's the calling on my life that keeps me going. All right, so when I'm dead, that's when I really rest. That's when I really sleep. But I'm so grateful that God has woken me up from a sleep of rest and not a sleep of death. Amen. So Sister Altie, all the way I should say Georgia, and many others of you are locked in with me this morning in Sterling in the morning. I want to say bless up those of you in Texas, and those of you overseas and on sea, blessings to you all. So hey, let me play a little bit of this excerpt right here. Let me play a little bit of this and take a listen and see what you can reflect back on as I come back, and we'll talk a little bit. All right. Hey, it's Sterling in the morning, real talk, somebody. 917-455-3072. 917-455-3072. Once again, it's 917-455-3072. 472. Blessings unto each and every one of you. Thank you for locking it in.
And to dominate your existence. You are no longer an authentic individual, but a character playing a role that you didn't even consciously choose. And here lies the problem. The persona cannot sustain your soul. It can bring acceptance, but not fulfillment. It can guarantee compliments, but not genuine happiness. In the long run, living solely through the persona leads to an empty life, where you feel that something essential is missing, but you can't identify what it is. And worse still, the more you cling to this mask, the further you drift from your true essence. But if the persona is not your true self, then who are you really? To answer this question, we need to look at the other side of the coin, at the part of you that has been repressed and pushed into the unconscious. Jung called this the shadow, and this is where the true quest for your true self begins. But be careful. What is hidden in the shadow is not always easy to face. Are you ready to discover? Then, continue with me. If this content is making sense to you, click the subscribe button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your support. If the persona is the mask you wear to be accepted, then the shadow is everything you hide to avoid being rejected. But here's the problem. What you repress doesn't disappear. On the contrary, it gains strength in your unconscious, operating in the shadows of your mind, influencing your emotions, your fears, and even the choices you make in life without you realizing it. Carl Jung described the shadow as the hidden side of the psyche, composed of everything that has been repressed throughout life. Prohibited desires, contained anger, weaknesses you don't want to admit, traumas you tried to forget. And you know what's worse? Many of the things in your shadow aren't even bad. They are just parts of you that, at some point, someone said were unacceptable. Perhaps, as a child, you showed too much curiosity, but were called inconvenient and learned to stay quiet. Maybe you felt the urge to express anger but were taught that it was wrong. And now, you swallow your frustrations until they explode. Perhaps you showed sensitivity, but society convinced you it was weakness, so you learned to hide your feelings. All of this, all the parts of you that were denied, did not disappear. They just hid in your shadow, waiting for the moment to emerge. And they do emerge. If you've ever had an outburst of anger and then regretted it, felt envy towards someone and tried to deny it to yourself, or reacted excessively to criticism without understanding why, then you have experienced your shadow taking control. When we don't consciously deal with it, it manifests in distorted ways, sabotaging our relationships, our careers, our self-esteem. But here's the truth that no one tells you. Your shadow is not your enemy. On the contrary, it is where many of the most valuable aspects of your personality lie: your creativity, your authenticity, your true strength. You cannot be whole until you integrate this part of yourself. And to do that, you need to stop running away and start looking inward. But how do you face something that has been repressed for so long? How do you bring your shadow into the light without letting it consume you? The answer lies in a central concept of Jungian psychology: the self, or the true self, and that is exactly what we are going to explore now. If the persona is the mask, and the shadow is everything you have repressed, then the self, the true self, is what exists beyond these layers. It is the totality of your psyche, the harmonious fusion between who you truly are and who you show to the world. Jung believed that the purpose of life was not simply to follow a path predefined by society, but rather to become whole, to discover your true essence, and to live according to it. This process of self-discovery and integration is what he called individuation. But finding the self is not something that happens by chance. It is not something that simply appears one day in front of you like a magical epiphany. The self does not reveal itself to those who are not willing to face the truth about themselves. You need to actively seek it out, and this quest requires a deep journey within yourself. It is a confrontation with everything you have been taught to hide, a reconciliation between your most authentic desires and the restrictions imposed by the outside world. The greatest obstacle to finding the true self is fear. Fear of losing the identity you have built over the years. Fear of realizing that many of your choices were not truly yours. Fear of facing aspects of your personality that you have denied for so long. This fear causes many people to never find the self. They spend their entire lives clinging to the persona, pretending to be something they are not, while their shadow operates behind the scenes, sabotaging their chances of genuine happiness. But when you begin to integrate your shadow and question the masks you wear, something incredible happens. You start to feel a kind of freedom you have never experienced before. You discover that you no longer need to pretend to be someone you are not. You realize that you no longer need to please everyone. You begin to act more authentically, to make decisions that make sense to you, and not just to meet the expectations of others. And the most interesting part? The closer you get to yourself, the more life begins to make sense. The anxieties and frustrations that once seemed inexplicable begin to have a clear root. You understand why certain patterns repeat, why certain situations affect you so much, why certain relationships never worked out. You start to realize that throughout your life, there was something inside you trying to show you the way, but you were too busy trying to fit in to listen.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, so there you have it. I hope that makes some sense to you as you make sense of what's being said. So many of us are conditioned or have been conditioned. So many of us live in a box. So many of us lives behind a shadow. So many of us live behind a mask, rather. We tend to wear a mask so to fit in. And so it is what it is this morning. So it's Sterling in the Morning Real Talk, 917-455-3072. As we try to make sense of why we live the way we live, why we do what we do, even when we grown up. You know, the Bible says, train a child in the way that he or she should grow. And when that child becomes an adult, when that child gets older, when that child grow up, that child will not depart from it. Right? That's what the word says. A child would not depart from it. So what are we talking about here this morning when it says the child would not depart from it? When it says train a child in the way that child should grow. We're actually conditioned. We're actually put in a situation. We're actually put into a way of life, lifestyle. We actually put in what we call environments, the home environment, the job environment, the school environment, are all there to guide us. They're all there to condition us. They're all there to program us to act a certain way, behave a certain way. A lot of people, even today, they wear a mask wherever they go. They don't really show their true self. I know there are a lot of people out there say, yeah, you know, what you see is what you get. This is me. I'm frank. I don't hide no thing. I don't hold back no things. Hence, we have Christians today live a double life. Hence, we have Christians when they are in the presence of other people, they tend to behave a certain way, and when they are in the presence of other people. So when they are in the presence of other Christian people, they behave a certain way. When they are in the presence of their family, they behave a certain way. When they are in the presence of unsaved, they behave a certain way. And many times there are people walking around with anger and frustration. And there are times when you see this outburst. There are times that a man is trying to figure out why his wife is behaving the way she's behaving. Wife is trying to figure out why the husband is behaving the way he's behaving. And so we are faced with these things that we suppressed, and sometimes we feel that we have dealt with them, and many times we have not dealt with them. Many times we really just, yes, bury it, but you have not dealt with it. And so when you come to Christ, or when we come to Christ, we tend to say, well, yes, old things are passed away, and behold, all things have become new. But sin, when the Bible says that, the Bible is talking about sin. The Bible is talking about the lifestyle that you used to live, right? So when you come to Christ, the lifestyle that you used to live, those lifestyles are put away. Like when you used to go to places and do some things that are not healthy for your life, not healthy for your body. So in that context, yes, old things are passed away. In that context, yes, you weren't mindful of Christ. So now when you come to Christ, now you are mindful of him. Yes, so in those contexts, but there are other contexts that even though you become a child of God, those things are still there. It's hidden within you. And even though you become a child of God, you behave a certain way because those hidden things within your life cause you to act out. Now, yes, I'm getting into some philosophy. I'm getting into theological things as well, getting into sociological things as well. So your social life today, as it is for some people, were conditioned by the way that they were brought up. Okay, yeah. So if many people were brought up in the context where they didn't mingle much, they didn't socialize much with people. You have some women say, well, I don't do good with other females. I don't have much female friends or much woman friend. I don't keep company. I don't. So all these things that you see yourself doing today as an adult, as a grown person, were placed in you. You were exposed to a lot of things that create hurt in your life as well. And so when you become a grown person, you try to avoid some of these things. So what am I talking about? You know, when I was a little boy, let me use myself as an example. When I was a little boy and growing up, okay, I grew up in a setting at home where I was, yes, told this is what you do, this is how you do it, and that was all good. And so I was being conditioned how to survive on my own as an individual. Not only that, I was given responsibility that I needed to do. Not only that, I was given responsibility, things that I needed to take care of and things that I needed to do around the house. But other times, if I didn't do it right, if I didn't do it to the adult expectation, the adult will punish me, or the adult would inflict pain on me. So pain is not something pleasant to a child, okay? Even though a child, when you inflict pain on that child still comes back to you as the adult. So the adult is inflicting the pain on the child. Like in my case, the adult inflict pain on me. But because of my dependency on the adult to survive, I will always go back to the adult. So so I would like, okay, this is my caretaker. I need to respect my caretaker because my caretaker provides for me. So no matter what my caretaker do to me, I have to go to the caretaker to survive. I have to rely on the caretaker to survive. And so at the time, let me be forward, let me be frank, let me be myself. myself. Let me be realistic as I speak to you this morning. This is Sterling in the Morning, real talk. I'm keeping it real right here. I'm keeping it down to earth because that's who I am. I have no shame to my game. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed to talk about the things I'm talking about because I've faced them. I've done them. I've been through them. I'm able to be at a level right now that I live at the level at which I speak. I live at the level of success. I live at the level of knowing that I am somebody. I live at the level knowing that I am somebody going somewhere. I live at the level knowing that I am somebody who achieve, who go out and achieve things in life. I don't wait for things to come to me, and I don't beg and go around and beg people and look for people to do me favor as if they owe me a favor, or look for people to give me things as if they owe it to me or I'm entitled to. So yes, let me speak about it. I can talk about it. Maybe you can, and I can give a voice to you this morning. So of course, my parents migrated to the United States for a better life and to bring us as children to the United States so that we too can live a better life than what we were exposed to in Jamaica, or we were living in Jamaica. So what am I saying now? My caretaker, my parents were away, but here I have different parents than my biological parents. So my aunt or my uncle or auntie or whatever you want to call them, were now my parents, were now my caretaker. So they were being my parent while my parent was away. So here it is that they are now training me, teaching me how to be a man, how to grow up, and so forth. What happened? Okay, what happened? Okay, they inflict pain. Why did they inflict pain? Was it to benefit themselves, or was it to benefit me? No, it was to benefit themselves. It wasn't so much to benefit me. Because if I did what you asked me to do, and even though I didn't do it the way you want me to do it, or you think that I should do it, why inflict pain on me? Why not correct me and show me how to do it and say, this is the way you should do it? Instead of taking something and hit me and inflict pain, instead of talking to me and telling me negative things, okay? And so a lot of you grow up that way as well. And so those negative things that were said or that were spoken in your life, many times you live it out because it comes to manifestation. It comes to manifest in the physical world, in the physical realm, while those things were placed inside of your mind. So as a young girl and as a young boy, yes, your parents or maybe your caretaker would tell you that, oh, you're not going to come up to be anything. Oh, you are nothing. Oh, you are a nobody. Oh, you can't even do this. You can't wash. You can't clean. You can't keep your room clean. You can't. And they keep speaking these negative things into you. They speak these things that lodge in your mind, and you grow up trying sometimes to prove them wrong. But yet, when you make a mistake, it takes you back to those things that they put in your mind. Let alone, yes, it's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to make a mistake because then you will learn from that. But those who were set over you didn't see things that way, right? So, for instance, if I go to the store and I forget to buy something when I return home, all right, Byron, what happened? Oh, you were playing on the way. Oh, you were this, that. What did I tell you to buy? Why didn't you get? And so if they didn't spank you with something, they would say some things that make you feel as nothing, right? And so when you grow up and you become an adult, right, that condition can resurface. When you are married or when you have a significant other, that condition surfaces because many times the women stay home and they ask the man to bring home something and he forgets to bring it home. Come on, somebody. I'm speaking real right now. This is for grown folks. I'm not talking to no little kids or baby kids. The Bible says if you're a babe, yes, you feed on milk, you drink milk. But now that you're not a babe, now that you are in the Lord and you have seasoned, you should be seasoned. You should live, you know, and be an adult. Now you're eating meat, so I'm giving you meat right now. So yes, when you become an adult, as in instances with men, you are out there and you're on your way home. Your significant other call you and say, honey, bring this, bring that. And right away you hear what she says. And you says, yes, sure, I'll bring it home, I get it. Now you reach home. You reach home, you reach in your driveway, you reach at your door, and then you say to yourself, oh, some of you, let's be real right now. Many of you, you say, oh, shucks, or you say, oh, whatever, right? You're like, now you remember, oh my goodness, she asked me to bring this home. I cannot go inside the house. Why? Because she's going to chastise me. She's going to say some stuff to me that I really don't want to hear. And those things take you back to your childhood days, because now when you go inside the house, she said to you, where is the bacon that I tell you to bring home? Where is the ketchup that I tell you to bring? Didn't I ask you to buy a thing of butter because I need a butter to put in the rice, or I need a butter to put in the meat? Didn't I ask you to bring this? And right away, you as a man, you feel embarrassed. You feel ashamed. Oh, come on, somebody. You know what I'm talking about. You know I'm talking real stuff right here. As a man, you feel ashamed. You feel bad. And that is reliving even your childhood days, because you remember when you used to go to shop and you forget to bring something home, and now you're being chastised or being punished at home. And so, yes, relationships, many of you grow up in homes that you were not nurtured in a loving manner. Am I speaking the truth right here this morning? It's Real Talk, Sterling in the morning. Welcome, 917-455-3072 right here. 917-455-3072. If you have just joined us, we are talking about why you live the way you live, and even why you do the things you do today. So, yes, of course, you know, many weren't grown up. Many of us, or many of you, some of us, we just did not grow up in a loving home. Especially in the Caribbean people have a problem showing love. The Caribbean people have a problem showing love to their children. They take for granted, yes, I love my child, I love my daughter, I love my this, but you take it for granted. And what you do, you grow up in situation where you think you are loved, you think you are showing love, but then you are not. Most Caribbean people don't hug each other and show that affection. Most Caribbean people don't kiss each other and show that affection. And so you have a husband who says, I don't really kiss, you know. I don't. Why? Because he never grew up in that loving environment where kissing was a way of showing a genuine affection, and kissing is not just a sexual thing, but kissing is showing love. And hence the Bible says, greet each other with a holy kiss. And that's another story in itself. When your Christian wife sees somebody else come and greet you with a holy kiss, she gets upset, she gets jealous, she gets feeling, oh, why am I kiss up my husband, so I feel my husband, right? So you get that. That's another story right there. But what I'm talking about is that you have a lot of men who don't show affection. A lot of men just simply refuse to show affection because they grew up in an environment where they were not showing affection. They were not exposed to being affectionate. And so, they get married, they have a partner, a significant other that they're supposed to show love to, and they have a problem doing that because they think just having sex with the woman that is love. And yes, a lot of you women feel that way because the man can pour it on in the bedroom. He loves you. That is love. And outside of that, he doesn't bring you flowers. He don't bring you candy. He never cook a meal for you. He never give you a candlelight dinner. He never take you out to the park, to the movie. He never take you out to listen to good music. All he does is work, 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 come home to you, and then expect to jump in a bed with you, and you must just, and he calls that love. And that's what a lot of men are doing, and hence you find they have difficulties nurturing their relationship, and the women are deprived of love because for him having sex with you is love. But you can have sex without having love. There are some people can have sex without even feeling affection. As long as that man get a rise, he's good to go. Or as long as that woman have an urge, she's good to go. And that's it. After that 2 minute, that 3 minutes, or maybe some of you 5 minutes, all right? You know, most of y'all don't go 10 minutes unless you know what to do to go 10 minutes, right? All right, Fire Rose, okay? I don't know if Fire Rose are listed, right? Fire Rose, okay? So here it is. That 2 to 5 minutes is over, and that's the love. That's all the love you get. 2 to 5 minutes worth of love. That's not good. That's not going to be a long-lasting relationship. You know, take in consideration, yes, there are different reasons why people break up, but we're not talking about breakup here. We're talking about love. We're talking about showing love. And to show that true love is that when you were a child, you were nurtured, you were taught how to show that true love, so that when you become an adult, you know how to accept it and how to give it. Now, I can talk about myself. You know, I reached a place in life where I just couldn't accept love. I reached a place in life that at one point in my life, I was at a place that I didn't know how to accept love. Someone would show me love, but I didn't know how to accept it. Okay? Someone would give me things, but I didn't know how to accept it. I was always telling them, no, I don't want it. Right? I was at that place in life at one time. Okay? So I know what I'm talking about, and I'm speaking from experience. And so what I'm speaking is not that, okay, well, that happened to you. Oh, good for you. If you want to say that happened to me, hey, good for you to say that. But I'm not no shame to that. If you want to say, oh, that happens to you, and that's why you're talking about it. No, there are a lot of things I talk about that it does not necessarily happen to me. Because if I should tell you my life story, my upbringing, you cry. Okay? So what I'm talking about, yes, I'm speaking from experience. And at the same time, I'm speaking from a professional point of view. I'm speaking from a psychological, a theological, and a sociological aspect. When I speak here, remember, I hold a doctorate degree, okay? And yes, there are many people who feel and look down on me like, oh, he has a doctorate degree? How did he get it? Because when I tell people, Dr. Sterling, a lot of them trying to find out, so how did you get your doctorate, or where you get your doctorate? Especially in education. When I was a teacher, when I was teaching, right? Oh, bless up my sister Anne Marie. Bless you. I see the comment. I can't read a comment because I don't know what. All right, maybe she posted something. But anyway, all right. What if you're on Facebook? You could drop me a comment, yes, and I should get it on my screen here. But you're on YouTube, you drop me a comment, I should get it on my screen. If you're on Twitter and you drop me a comment, it should pop up on my screen. But I see many of you giving the thumbs up. I thank you for the likes, but I don't see no comments coming in, so that's okay. But, you know, as long as I'm resonating to somebody, I'm reaching someone out there. Because a lot of you live in denial. Yes, a lot of you live in denial, and a lot of you live with the shame. You're buried in shame because you are shameful that, yes, it is your family member who did that to you, or your family member don't show you love, right? Your family member don't show you love. Here it is. I have a mother, so let's speak again about me. I have a mother that I love dearly. I'm a mama's boy. And my sisters, they tease me about it, right? Not my brother. God bless you, Lincoln, right? But my sisters, they tease me about it. I'm mama's boy. And probably even my father as well teased me about it. And worst of all, the woman that I had children with throws it in my face many times, right? Right? My children mother, right? Put it plain and simple. And she throws that at me at times. And not only that, my son throws that at me. Oh my God, when I talk about my son, when I reflect on my son, ladies and gentlemen, I get emotional because I love that boy so much. But you know, I'm not here to talk about that aspect of life, but I love my son so much. I will leave work, leave my job to go and look after him when the school call or when whatever, and his mother would not. But that's the level of responsibility I have as a father and as a man for my son, to grow him in the right way. All right. Unfortunately, while I was growing him, he sometimes rejected. Okay, he was a defiant boy. Okay, he's not now, but he was a defiant boy. And while he was yet learning from me, there were times he was rejecting correction, which most people do. So what am I saying? My mom, I love so much. My mom is protective of me, okay? And I'm not going to tell you that my mom never scolded me or never corrected me, but she never did as my father did. So my mom scolded me and corrected me, she used a different method than my father would. My mom didn't really, I can't remember my mom spanking me, if she did. Maybe when I speak with her again, I'll gotta ask her. But I can't remember my mom spanking me with anything. But nevertheless, I'm the firstborn. And I love my mom so much that I would want to show her that love and that affection. And let me tell you something. I grow up not hugging my mom. I grow up not hugging my mom and kissing my mom. I grow up, yes, folks. I got to play some music. I'm getting emotional here. I got to play some music. So it's now that I become an adult, and I've gone through several training, and I'm able to find myself. I'm able to find who I am, that I'm able to now hug my mom and kiss my mom and say, and I know many of you probably, you have that love for your mom where you're able to, especially the girls, right? The girls are able to do that. The boys, not so much. If you grow up not showing affection, even though you love your mom, you don't really hug your mom and kiss your mom and say, Mom, I love you, right? Most boys don't do that. Most men don't tell, at the end of your conversation, love you, Mom. Most men don't do that, okay? And y'all know that I'm speaking the truth now. Y'all know that I'm real about this. You know this is real talk. Sterling in the morning. Bless you. Georgia is locked in, Sister Althea. All right? So y'all know what I'm talking about. So while you have this childhood life that you grew up, which I can take you back a little bit, some more also into my childhood life. So you know, my childhood life, part of it was fantastic, and another part of it was abusive, and another part of it was unsure. Unsure, you know what I'm saying? Or exploratory, right? A part of my life was exploratory, and that part of my life that was so exploratory, I have reflect on it, and I'm able to address it. I'm able to move on from it. I'm able to accept what happened during my exploratory years. Now y'all know that there are 7 stages of life, though. There are 7 stages of the human life. One of these days I got to teach about that, the 7 stages. But nevertheless, right, at one stage in my life, it was exploratory for me. And that stage was a very dangerous stage, and a stage that it's very delicate to talk about. And that stage is the stage that I have to be careful if I should present that to the public. Because that side is very, 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 very challenging. And a lot lot of children today are going through exploratory stages, and it leads them into a direction that they are not, that you as a parent are not comfortable with, because then, due to the exploratory stage in their life, when they become an adult, as they reach 18, they start to tell you some stuff, and you never knew. You didn't know. You said, my God, I didn't know that. But they explore, and then sometimes the exploring experiences they like, and they go in certain direction and certain and so forth. So nevertheless, right? Boy, 917 455 3072. 917 455 3072. Feel free to call me. Well, anyway, let me see. The phone is connected somewhere or somehow. Anyway, all right. Feel free to call me if you can. All right. Use that WhatsApp number and call me if you can. But nevertheless, yeah. So talking about showing that love, affection, that you are so conditioned as a child growing up. You didn't see much of the folks in your home showed love. You didn't see mama hugging daddy and daddy hugging mommy and daddy kissing mommy. You didn't see much of that. There are conditions also. Sisters and brothers, they're always fighting. I remember a couple years ago, if not, maybe they are still fighting. There was a sister that called for prayer because her sons were just constantly fighting. Her sons were just, they lived together, they were just fighting. I have other people also that, call me and share how the sons, they live together. Now they are fighting and they want to kill each other. One, and then sometimes the law comes into play, and, they get locked up, and here they can have a record because the fighting becomes so intense. So you have situation where siblings are fighting as they are growing up, and, when they become adult, they continue that fight. They continue fighting. So let's see. I'm getting some notification here. What is it like? Okay, somebody say they like. So as I'm relating to you, yes, siblings fight against each other. Yes, but how is it that you as a parents deal with it when when the siblings are fighting? How you deal with it is very crucial. Because the child is young, and you have to show them how to resolve conflict without using physical violence. Okay, you have to show them how to resolve conflict without using physical violence. So you gotta, and when they become adult, they continue that fight. Yeah, because when they become adult, yes, they continue that fight. I'm not able to hook up. Okay, so leave that alone. Just all right. Just correspond with me by text is fine. Correspond with me with a voice note. That's fine. Also, I appreciate that. Okay. I see some of you sending in. You're calling, but my phone didn't ring. I don't understand this. All right, hold on. All right, let me play music and come right back as I tweak something right here. I know on Irish Storm they're getting ready to go into a break, and so I was trying to set up the phone here. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for reaching out. It's Sterling in the morning. Let's see if I can connect you online with me as you call. Let's see if I can connect you online. Blessings, good morning. Somebody is here. Let me see if I can do that. Yes, thank you for reaching out. Bless you. second there. Hold on, sis. Hold on, sis. Um, I wanted the folks to hear you, so I'm gonna try to change something around so that the folks can hear. Just hold on for a minute. Just give me 1 second. Let me try for because I'm moving to my new studio here and everything is still not 100% connected yet. So I'm trying to redirect the sound. So go ahead, talk again. Talk. So now here. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. 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 Could connect it. Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Look at her. I said, darling, teach him. He don't go with any mother. He go with his father in the country. I live down to the bush, hog and goat. So teach him. He's a hard man and he provide a house, a roof over your head at such a short space of time. So treat it good. Love him. Show him love. Because each one teach the other. And she listened to what I said and them happily married still. Because she was planning to leave him. I said, because it's not romantic. You're stupid. Yeah, so whatever you're talking is the real. I see people happen that way. My children, when I go home, especially my second son, he always pick me up and he kiss me.
Ah, see
Yeah,
that?
he kiss me every day and say, Mommy. And each time I call, I say, I love you guys. And it's like the whole I'm getting, I love with my children. And I didn't get any love from my mother that I hope from my mother. Never.
See? See
Never.
it?
No, never. So, what you're saying this morning, I wanted was to get up and I said, no, I'm not getting up. I'm laying right here and listen to it because what you're saying is fact. It's fact. I'm going to call the young man mother now and let her know that exactly what happened to our son he was on the radio talking about.
Amen. All right.
Have a blessed Sunday, my friend, and keep it up.
All right. Bless you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
bye.
it. Yes, I appreciate that call. Appreciate that call. Yeah, like I said, I'm switching over to my other studio here, so some of the connections still not 100%, but nevertheless, a little technical, suave, so I can bounce around a little bit, change things around a little bit. So, all right, hope you all heard somewhat on the call as I try to let those of you on YouTube or Twitter or whatever hear a little bit about what she was saying. So, I appreciate that, right? So, listen, once again, it's Sterling in the morning, real talk. I have so many connections here that I need to still connect, and hopefully this week I'll get it all complete. So it's what it is, and what it is what it is. So truly, truly, certainly, a lot of us grew up in a certain way, and so I remember, um, you know, have to use water. Like in the country, we had to use water from the drum pan, right? We had to use water from the pond, or from the lake, or from the river if you're close by, to use for cooking, for drinking, and all of these things. And so um, growing up in that environment, you have to have hope, and you have to say to yourself that one day it's going to get better for you. One day it's going to be better for you. But your parents um, taught you survival skill based on the terrain that you live in, or based on the local area that you lived in, based on whether you're in a mountain, whether you're in the city, whether you are in rural area, suburban area. So depending on where you live, you will get that training as a child. And so, yes, training is actually conditioning a particular person, or conditioning you to live and to survive. And a lot of children today are not able to survive on their own because they were conditioned to be dependent on their parents. They're conditioned to, yes, be dependent on their parents. Well, let's be frank about it. As a child, you're dependent on your parents. You are dependent. You are not independent. But there are some parents that teaches you or train you how to survive when you get older. So as a child, you have to be aware. You have to learn what's been taught to you. But there are times there are times things have been taught to you with best intention, but they are wrong. You are taught some wrong things with good intentions. And so when you become of age, when you become older, you find yourself in a place where, wow, I feel that I'm doing the right thing. I feel that this is how I should do it, only to find out that you're actually not doing it right. You find yourself in a lot of difficulty and a lot of challenges. All right. So let's see what some other folks are saying here. Let's see. All right, we have. Okay. Good morning. All right. So, yeah. So as I check my text here, I'm seeing folks are logging in or coming on. So, all right, wonderful. But nevertheless, yeah. So as children are taught how to do things, we sometimes pick up bad habits, or sometimes we are being taught wrong things. you know, and one of the wrong things that we are conditioned and we are taught to do as a child is don't speak to strangers, right? You're told not to speak to strangers. Anybody understand what I'm talking about? Yes, as a child, you are told don't speak to nobody you don't know. Don't speak to no stranger. So back, in my days, yes, and many of you know, a child would live in a community, and anyone in the community can talk to the child or correct the child. Now, if you tell the child don't talk to stranger, and something is happening and the child needs to get out of danger, because you tell the child never talk to strangers, that child could end up be in danger, or that child could end up getting hurt because they are listening to mommy and daddy who tell them never talk to strangers. All right? So you can tell your child don't talk to strangers, but tell them why, and tell the child when they can talk to a stranger. So you have to teach a child when not to talk to stranger, and teach a child when to talk to strangers. So like in one of my messages I preach, and let me go back to this again. In one of my messages that I preach, I spoke about this experience here. So my mom and dad was going out to work, and we were living next to a gully at that time. We were living next to a gully. When we talk about gully, it's a big area. When it rains, all the garbage washed down in the gully, and it takes it out to sea. So we were living close to one of those huge gully that takes the garbage down out to sea. And my parents went off to work, and I remember my dad or my mom, or both of them, told me not to leave the yard. They said, my can I give you all my nickname? No, I ain't gonna give you all my nickname. I give you all my house, my pet. They call it pet name. That, it's something hilarious when we talk about pet name as well. Maybe I share that with you. But nevertheless, let's go back to this, right? So my parents tell me, they say, Byron, don't leave the yard. Byron, stay in the yard, right? And they told you, don't talk to stranger, don't take anything from stranger, all right? And so they told, so now as a child, you hear it and you say, yes, ma. But say you're a little boy, you're a little picnic, you're a little girl. And no matter what they tell you, they say, don't talk to stranger, don't take nothing from no stranger. So tell me to stay in the yard. And they went off to work. And you know what happened, folks? Yes, a stranger came, which was a thief. I didn't know at the time he was a thief. But a man came to the yard. And the man offered me, I think it was money or candy. And in those days, we're talking about 1970, 19 what? No. Yeah, 1969, 1970, somewhere around that time, 70, 71, 72. Yeah, around probably 1970, somewhere around that. But anyway, them time that we had we had some bubble gum, right? And the bubble gum was square, and the bubble gum came in a package with cards. So we were collecting cards. The card would have been superhero. It would be a superhero, or it would be a Disney character, right? So those cards were like baseball cards as you know them today, or Pokemon cards. But these cards came in the bubble gum. So I wanted one of those cards and so forth. I love those bubble gum. So the man gave me the money, and I took the money because he said you can go buy anything you want. And I took the money from the man, and I went to buy my bubble gum. The time that I went to buy my bubble gum, the man breaking at the house. Oh my God. Up to this day, I will never forget it. I could see it as plain as day. The man breaking at the house, and him go through the house and thief went for thief, and the man did not come back through the gate, The man used the gully to make the escape, because if he had come back through the gate, he figured he will bump into me, because the time I go to the store for the shop to buy the bubble gum and come back, so the man take one for take, and him jump down in the gully and him gone. No, I didn't know that the man going at the house and go rob the house. Poor little me. No, I'm not speaking poor. It's too late for me to be poor. Yes, it's too late for me to be poor. So when we say poor little me, don't tell me that, don't say that because I am calling poorness on myself or in my life. No, it's too late for me to be poor. So praise be to God. Now somebody might say, Pastor, why you can make such a statement, too late for you to be poor? What if you lose everything? So what if I lose everything? You think a vanity make me rich? You think a house make me rich? My car make me rich? No, my we value these material things, and when we lose them, we say we poor and we become poorness is at the poor. Being poor is living at a level at which you accept that you can't do better. All right. So when you're poor, you accept that you can't do better. But when you're poor in material goods, you can be still rich, because it's not the material things that you have or not the material things that you possess that makes you really rich, even though that is part of being rich, yes. But that's not necessarily what defined you, okay? So you got to understand that, all right? That's not necessarily what defined you. You might be poor in material things, but yet you're rich in spirit and you're rich in Christ, and yet you're God. So get that straight. So a lot of you out there will love to correct me. Oh, Pastor, don't say that you're poor. But me say, poor little me. Yes, poor little me at the time. Because when my mother came home and my father came home and saw the house ransacked Okay. They called me inside and showed me, said somebody came in the place and robbed the place. Where were you? Okay. Did you leave the yard? Why did me start ball? Why me fret? Fear come over me. So just like the video I played just now, you know, fear. So fear came over me. And yes, I was corrected. I was chastised. I felt bad. I felt embarrassed just to know that that happened. And put on top of that, you know, some you're going to get spanking, right? You know, said, Daddy, you're going to spank me. So, so you know, I have to prepare myself to be spanked. And you all know when Daddy and Mommy catch you to spank you, right? When you're gone to bed, right? Who knows that, right? And when you're gone to bed, at that time, I'm going to wake you up. At that time, them catch you for spank you, right? But, I mean, you know, the spanking was not necessary. You understand? Because the child learned his lesson. The child learned his or her lesson. So from that perspective, when you bring to the child attention, good morning, Pastor. Turn up your volume. No, I can't turn up the volume no more. I can't go up no more. I try. It's on my end, yes. My system still need a little tweaking where the volume is concerned. And I'm not able to get it any higher. Sorry about that. All right, yeah, not able to get the volume any higher. So, sorry about that, folks. I'm still trying to tweak it where me can get some more sound, where my volume can be higher. We're still trying to tweak that on my end. So, I apologize for that, right? All right, so yeah, so I'm still trying to work on the system here to get my sound up a little higher on my, I see on my screen that my sound is not very loud, and I'm still working on that. So hopefully this week I can get this problem solved. But nevertheless, turn up the volume by your side a little bit. Oh, God. So I'm working on the volume right here. I'm working on it. All right, so nevertheless, yeah, so like I was saying, you know, the child learned his or her lesson because the child is ashamed, the child is embarrassed, the child realized that they have made a mistake, they have disobeyed mom and dad. The child, yes, you disobeyed mom and dad, and so things didn't work out, and because you disobeyed mom and dad, that's actually a punishment to you when you are, it becomes aware, when you become aware of it. It's the same way Christ chastised his people. It's the same way Christ chastised us. You know, Christ don't lick us with a belt or a frying pan or electric wire or a tambourine switch or a bamboo switch. Christ don't hit us with those things. So hence we understand that he chastises us. You know, he corrects us. Yes, right? Christ corrects us. So even though Christ didn't lick us and spank us, we get correction from the Lord. And we know how God chastises us, really. We know how God corrects us. So it's the same way that we can correct our children. And so, yes, somebody out there, I say, but the Bible says, spare not the rod and spoil the child. Well, you were taught wrong where that is concerned. Spare not the rod and spoil the child. So it's not, the rod is not necessarily a tambourine switch, an electric cord, a hose. You know how some people use water hose and beat them picnic? Yeah, some people use water hose, tambourine switch, and them say them a beat the picnic, and I tell the picnic, shut up, don't cry. What you cry for? Come here, let me give you something for cry. And they lick you more. And I say, come here, let me give you something for cry. Right? So the child at times learn these things, and when they grow up and they're raising their child, they do the same thing. Oh gosh, yes, they do the same thing. Right? And y'all know what I'm talking about. Because you say, if my mother beat me and me never did, what make me not go beat for me picnic too and correct them? So we were brought up that using something and hitting a child is the way to correct a child. Well, that is not necessarily correct. You don't have to spank a child to correct them. There are many children today who never get spanking, never get hit, never pain was not inflicted on them that way, and they are as good as could be. All right? I mean, know some bad boy. Some boy will get licked every day, and then bad same way. So you try to beat the badness out of your child, ain't gonna work. Okay? You beat the picnic, left, right, and center. The picnic run on the chair, on the bed. You remember when you used to run on the bed and I try evade the getting licked, you run under the chair. Yeah, I remember when my uncle beat me one time and I go under the chair. I mean, I said the man I fling lick same way. All when the belt I lick the chair. The man I fling lick same way. I try lick me. I try. Laugh off of me. Laugh with me. Oh, don't laugh off of me. Laugh with me. Yeah. My God have mercy, man. And you think so that's supposed to make me a better person today, right? So, yeah. It's not the spanking that you, because a lot of us grow up believing the spanking is what makes us a better person. No, it is not the spanking that make you a better person. It's the decisions you have made. That's what made you a better person. The decisions you have made in life, the determination, the perseverance to be successful, to be a better person, to be a decent person, to live a decent life. That is what shaped your life. That is what makes you a better person. If a person going to be bad, a person going to be bad no matter how much lick you give them. If you raise a child in doing good and the child come of age and decide that that child wants to do bad, there's nothing you can do about it. Because a lot of you parents out there today are worrying, fretting, what you call? Yeah, worry, fret, you're full of fear, you grow the child, you give the child everything, and yet your boy turn out bad. You give your girl everything and still your girl turn out bad. Why is that? Okay, and so yes, so when the child was smaller, you smack it, but you can tap the child on the hand, tap the child on the behind, okay? So when we talk about correcting, we talk about spanking, and we talk about sparing the rod. The Bible is supportive of you, yes, possibly striking the child, but not striking the child so hard that it cut their skin and it leaves scar. You can take a rod and spank a child on the buttocks, on the hand, on the foot, and you don't do it so hard that it break their skin. Because the child is going to remember that if you are going to spank me, it is not a pleasant experience. That's what the child remember. So we talk about antecedent, stimuli, and these things. So when we talk about antecedent and stimuli, and you talk about punishment and all of these things, you got to understand that the method that you choose can be detrimental to the child, can be effective or non-effective, and the way that you do it will leave an everlasting memory or some people's scar. So there are memories that are pleasant and there are memories that are scar. So even if you tap the child is 5 years old, 6 years old, and younger, even older, the experience of tapping the child and correcting the child is good enough. So even verbal or a look. Many of you, say your grandma give you that look, and once grandma give you that look, you know what time of day it is. What time of day it is? You better get your behind right. You better get your behind inside the house. It's time to get inside. And grandma give you that look. And some of you have mama and you have mothers who give you that look also. And when mama give you that look, you know what time it is, right? You know what time of day it is, and you get yourself together. So the way that and the choice that you choose, or the method that you choose to correct your child, is important, because it's going to leave a long-lasting memory on them. That's why the Bible says that when the child get old, they will not depart from it. It's not just bringing your child to church and raising your child up into the church. That's not just it. All right? It takes more than that. It takes what you do with your child at home. It takes how you grow your child at home. So you got to know that, right? How you grow your child at home is important in child rearing, and not just dragging your child to. Many of you was dragged to church. You were dragged to church. You better get your black behind up and get dressed, because we're going to church today. We're going to church, and I'm not taking no for an answer. I don't care if you're sleepy. I don't care if you stayed up late last night. I don't care if you got school homework. You going to church with me. That's how most of us were brought up, right? But not me. All right. There were times that I was sent off to church, and the adult parents stay home. So yeah. All right. 917-455-3072. 917-455-3072. Let me play a little more of this thing if you wanna. Hold on. Me not play a song or play this. Let me play a little more of this phone so I can understand some more.
But there is an important detail. The path to finding the self cannot be walked in isolation. There is a fundamental element in this journey that many ignore: the unconscious and the archetypes that shape the way we think, feel, and behave. If you do not understand these hidden forces, you will never be able to fully comprehend who you are. And that is what we will explore next.
All right, so time is for a spin. We're coming up to the top of the hour. Yes, so to find out who you really are, to find out is to search yourself, look within yourself, go deep down within yourself, and reflect on some of the things that you have been doing, or even some of the things you did as a young girl, a young boy. And so to find a true self, who you are today, why you do what you do today, it is key to understand. Some of you are in situation, yes, that if your significant other or your children come to you with certain conversation, you are uncomfortable. You don't want to talk about certain things. You don't want to face certain things because it brings back too much pain, too much hurt for you, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? It brings back, so you don't want to talk about it. You don't want that to surface or to deal with it. And so a lot of you are living with this scar. You're living with this persona. You're living with these things that are buried and suppressed, but you never dealt with them. And so now is the time to deal with them. Take my number, call me. Let's deal with some of these challenges that you're having. It's so often that in relationship, the answer is always, leave him, leave she, go about your business. If they might do this to you, pack your things and go. And it is so easy for someone to run away from a problem or from situation than to face them with challenge, face them head on. And that's why sometimes when y'all talk about, oh, God will fight my battles, many of y'all don't leave the battle so God could fight. What do you think God go come down from heaven and fight back for you? You have to do things. You have to change the way you think, change the way you live, change the way you behave. And a lot of you don't want to change it. But when I say, God, I fight my battle for me, leave me alone, let God fight my battle. And what? Your lifestyle, the things that you keep saying, the things that you keep doing, keep creating these unhealthy situations. And then you are say about, God gonna fight my battle for me. And then you are praying, no weapon formed against me shall not prosper. I want to pray all these things, I want to say all these things, but the life that you live in, keep on creating the situation that you're in. It's like you don't know how to cook rice, but you don't try to cook the rice. You just say, me don't know how to cook rice. If my husband want to eat rice, if my picnic them want to eat rice, somebody else have to cook it for them, or I have to go buy it from the store or whatever. but you try to cook, learn how to cook the rice. Don't keep saying you don't know how to cook rice. Learn. Yeah, I know. Some of you say, boy, Pastor, me try over and over and over, and my rice just keep come out saggy, saggy. Me can't cook rice no matter what me do. Well, that's a rare case. So what you need to do is to let someone show you how to properly cook rice, and you follow the direction. But no for don't follow direction. On the field say, once you get the direction, you're going to do it Frank Sinatra way. You're doing it my way. Anyway, my time is up on Irish Town FM. We got Sister Arlene coming up next on Irish Town Radio, rather. We got a few others there over there. So, blessed good morning. Bless up Minister Arlene and all the rest of you, DJ Keith, and I understand Delroy Cooper. Bless up to you, Pastor Delroy Cooper, and many others on that platform. God bless you all. Y'all keep strong in the name of the Lord. Y'all keep strong in Jesus' name. So let me play one more Sharon Dyer song as we exit this.
My Jesus, my Savior, Lord, there is none like you. All of my days, I want to praise the wonders of your mighty
Yes, nothing compares to the promise I have in you. Shout to the Lord, all the earth. That's the music of the late Sharon Dyer Sharp. Oh, yeah. All right, so appreciate you being here. Like I said, I'm really working on getting the sound up to par on the radio station here. Yeah, so just trying to get the sound up to par. And so, hey, bear with me. Hopefully next weekend, God's willing, we'll be up and running more powerful. Now, later on at 4 p.m., I'll be right back again with the Gospel Reflection Show. And so I appreciate you. Have a blessed and wonderful Sunday morning here. And so reach out to me, somebody, 917-455-3072, 917-455-3072. Reach out to me. Let's have that conversation. Let's help you out there. And so I appreciate you calling in, and appreciate the likes, and appreciate the comments. All right, so Brother Alex, all the way Nigeria, thank you for locking in. Patty, thank you for locking it in. Mr. Althea, thank you for locking it in as well. Those of you on Twitter, thank you for locking it in on Twitter. YouTube and Facebook, thank you for locking it in on the various platforms as we simultaneously broadcast. And so we're grateful and we're thankful to God. It's SterlingBWorldWideRadio.org. We continue to play. So Minister Arlene will be up next, and keep it locked right here. God bless you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be well, be safe in Jesus' name.